Scott was able to push through mountain ash once with extreme effort and force of will, and Parrish just heated up the air so much around the barrier that the wood burned away. But the Oni are very different. So far, the demon warriors are the only thing we saw literally beat their way through a mountain ash barrier. First, we have to figure out what makes the Oni different from all the other supernaturals on the show.
They're called Oni. They're demons. And they're unstoppable. The Oni are a force of nature. You don't fight a tsunami. You endure it. And you hope that you're not destroyed in its path.
Terrifying to look at and hard to stop, the Oni seemed scary, but they were really only puppets. At the start of their arc, Noshiko Yukimura sent them out to find which one of Scott's pack was possessed by the Nogitsune. And they were completely harmless unless you tried to stop them from completing that mission. From that perspective, the mountain ash barrier at the house was in the way of that mission. So, being an unstoppable force of nature, they pounded on it until they broke it. That makes sense, but it doesn't tell us why they could break through what is supposed to be an unbreakable supernatural barrier. To answer that question, I'm going to have to speculate. And some of this new speculation will build on my prior speculation about how energy flows and manifests in the Teen Wolf universe. In other words, I'm taking what we know to be canon and piecing that together to make sense of something that was never really explained on the show. Based on what we know, the Oni are like the Nogitsune in that they are straight up spirits with no bodies. Instead of possessing someone like Void did with Styles, the Oni appear to turn natural energy into matter that forms armor and weapons and makes up their physical bodies. I've talked a lot about natural energy in this universe. It flows through telluric currents and is focused into powerful areas like the Nemeton. And while the raw wood of the mountain ash tree has a sedative effect and repels supernaturals, if you combine it with the energy in the currents and make a complete circuit, it will form a barrier that physically repels the supernatural spark within every shapeshifter that we saw on the show. The Oni are different. The bodies they use are literally the same natural energy transformed into solid matter. They're entities summoned to this plane by the breaking of one of Noshiko's tails. They use the natural energy present in the telluric currents and focused by the Nemeton to give them shape and physicality. Knowing these two things, I surmise that mountain ash barriers won't work as well against them. While the barrier still rejects the spirit inside, the firefly, it is less effective against these physical bits because the bodies, the masks, the armor, the weapons, they're all made up of the same energy that makes up the barrier. Let me try that another way. The Oni are already tapped into the natural energy flow. It maintains their bodies and weapons at all times. It allows them to vanish and reappear elsewhere along the current. It just makes sense to me that since they're always plugged into this same current, they could cause a short in the system, and that would collapse a barrier powered by the current.